The Galactic Empire was vast and powerful, spreading across the stars like a dark shadow. They controlled many planets and believed they were the strongest force in the universe. One day, in a grand meeting room on their flagship, the leaders of the Empire decided to test the humans of Earth. They laughed at the idea of these tiny, fragile beings. "Let's poke them and see how they react," one commander suggested. The others agreed, thinking it would be easy fun. The Empire's first move was to send small ships to Earth. These ships were equipped with advanced technology and weapons. They began by launching harmless attacks on unguarded towns, causing panic and confusion. The aliens thought the humans would cower in fear, but they were wrong. In a small town, people went about their daily lives when they suddenly heard loud explosions. Buildings shook and people screamed in terror. The news spread quickly, and soon everyone learned about the attacks. In a nearby military base, a group of soldiers and scientists gathered. They watched the reports on screens and worry filled the room. "Why are they doing this?" a young soldier named Alex asked, his voice shaky. "Do they want a war?" An older soldier, Captain Lee, nodded gravely. "It seems they want to see what we can do. We can't let them think we are weak." In another room, scientists analyzed the data from the attacks. "These aliens have no idea what they're up against," Dr. Mira said, her eyes shining with determination. "We need to show them that humans can fight back." As the group discussed their options, a sense of unity grew among them. People from different backgrounds and countries came together, knowing that their very existence was at stake. They started sharing ideas, strategies, and resources, determined to prepare for what was to come. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Empire's command center, the leaders watched Earth with amusement. They believed that humans were no match for their advanced technology. "Look at them scurry," one commander laughed. "They are scared little creatures. They will fall easily." But humans were not as weak as the Empire thought. In the following days, the small attacks continued, but the people of Earth began to respond. They shared news, ideas, and plans, united in their fight against a common enemy. Back in the military base, Captain Lee and his team worked tirelessly to develop new defenses. They built makeshift weapons from old technology and discussed ways to communicate secretly to avoid the Empire's spying. The humans began to feel a fire inside them, a desire to protect their homes and families. One evening, as the sun set, Dr. Mira gathered the team. "We need to come up with something powerful. We must not only defend ourselves, but also strike back," she urged. Days turned into weeks, and the attacks only intensified. But the humans were ready. They had created a new weapon, a device that harnessed energy in a way they had never done before. It was a last-minute plan, but they believed it could change everything. Finally, the day came when the Galactic Empire decided to launch a massive attack. They sent a fleet of ships eager to crush the humans once and for all. But as the alien ships approached Earth, they had no idea what awaited them. The humans were prepared, hidden in the shadows of their cities, waiting for the right moment. They knew that this was not just a fight for survival, it was a fight for their place in the universe. The air was thick with tension as both sides prepared for what would soon unfold. Then, without warning, the first shots were fired. The humans had activated their new weapon, sending powerful blasts toward the alien fleet. The Empire was taken by surprise. "What is happening?" a commander shouted, his voice filled with shock. As the battle began, it became clear that the humans would not back down. They were strong, united, and ready to fight for their home. This was only the beginning, and the Empire had awakened a force they did not understand. The awakening of humanity was here, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The news of the surprise attack on Earth spread like wildfire. The humans, once terrified, now felt a burning desire to fight back. In cities around the world, people gathered, united by the same goal to defend their home. They realized they could no longer sit back and wait. They had to act. In a large military base, Captain Lee called for an emergency meeting. Soldiers and scientists filled the room, their faces serious but determined. "We cannot let the Empire think we are weak," Captain Lee began. "We must prepare ourselves for a real fight." Dr. Mira stood up, excitement shining in her eyes. "We have created a powerful weapon, but we need to improve it. We need to build more defenses and train more fighters. Everyone must be involved, from the soldiers to the engineers." The group nodded in agreement. They discussed plans to spread the word. The news of the attacks had already rallied many people, but they needed more support. We should reach out to other countries, a soldier suggested. If we all come together, we can show the Empire that we are strong. In the following days, flyers were printed and social media campaigns began. People were called to arms. Citizens from all walks of life were encouraged to join the fight, whether by training as soldiers or helping in factories to build weapons and supplies. The spirit of unity grew stronger each day. While preparations were underway, the Galactic Empire continued to underestimate humanity. On their ships, alien leaders laughed at what they saw as human desperation. They think they can fight us? Look at them gathering like ants, one commander sneered. This will be an easy victory. But what the Empire did not see was the transformation happening on Earth. Regular people were training together, learning how to fight, how to build, and how to strategize. They were coming together like never before, and their determination was fierce. In a gym, civilians practiced basic self-defense techniques. Young and old alike trained hard, fueled by a shared desire to protect their families and their planet. In another part of the world, engineers worked day and night to improve the weapon Dr. Mira had created. They experimented with different materials and designs, determined to make it more powerful and effective. As the days passed, the world became more prepared. News of humanity's resilience spread, and more people joined the cause. Artists created powerful images and songs to inspire others. Every voice mattered, and every effort counted. Meanwhile, Captain Lee and Dr. Mira held a press conference to share their plans with the world. "We are calling all nations to join us," Captain Lee announced, his voice strong. "This is not just a fight for one country, it is a fight for all humanity. Together, we will show the Galactic Empire that we are not to be trifled with." The response was overwhelming. People cheered and their hearts filled with hope. They were ready to fight back. Communities organized rallies and meetings, discussing strategies and ways to help one another. They shared stories of bravery, reminding each other that they were stronger together. As preparations continued, the Galactic Empire started to feel the pressure. The reports coming from Earth were alarming. "These humans are uniting," an alien commander said, his voice laced with concern. "They are preparing for war." With every passing day, the fear in the Empire grew. They began to realize that they had underestimated their opponents. Humans were fighting back not just with weapons, but with a passion that the Empire had never seen before. In the heart of a busy city, a massive rally took place. Thousands of people gathered, chanting and holding signs. They were ready to support their soldiers, ready to defend their planet. They raised their voices together, shouting, "We are human! We will not be defeated!" As the crowd cheered, Captain Lee and Dr. Mira watched from the stage. They felt the energy in the air, the resolve of their people. This is it, Captain Lee thought. This is the moment we show the universe what humans can do. The call to arms had been answered, and the time for action was drawing near. Humanity was awakening, and they were ready to take their stand against the Galactic Empire. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and nothing could hold them back. The day of the first strike arrived, and tension hung in the air like a thick fog. The humans had spent weeks preparing, and now it was time to show the Galactic Empire that they were not to be underestimated. In the command center of the military base, Captain Lee and Dr. Mira stood before a large map, their faces focused and determined. "Today is the day we turn the tide," Captain Lee announced, looking at the gathered team of soldiers and engineers. "We've worked hard, and now we will show the Empire that we can fight back." Dr. Mira pointed to the map, highlighting a key target, the Empire's supply depot on a nearby moon. "If we can take out their supplies, we can weaken their forces. This is our chance," she explained. The team nodded in agreement, their eyes filled with a mix of excitement and fear. They knew the risks, but were ready to do whatever it took to protect their planet. As the team finalized their plans, hundreds of fighters prepared for the mission. Each pilot was trained and equipped with advanced ships, enhanced by the technology Dr. Mira and her team had developed. The atmosphere buzzed with energy as everyone put on their helmets and took their positions. Meanwhile, in the command center of the Galactic Empire, the alien leaders were confident. They believed the humans were still weak and unorganized. "They will fall easily," one commander said with a sneer. "We should not worry about these fragile beings." But as the Empire watched, they had no idea that the humans were ready to strike first. The countdown began, and soon the human ships launched into space. The pilots felt a mix of fear and determination as they left the safety of their planet behind. As they approached the moon, the excitement grew. The target loomed ahead, a stark reminder of the Empire's threat. The supply depot was heavily guarded, but the humans had a plan. They would use stealth to get in undetected. "Stay close to each other and keep your shields up," Captain Lee instructed over the comms. "We'll split into 2 groups. One will create a diversion while the other strikes the depot." The pilots nodded, adrenaline coursing through their veins. They flew closer, and as they reached the moon's atmosphere, the lead pilot initiated the diversion. Bright flares erupted from their ships, lighting up the sky and drawing the attention of the enemy forces. As the guards rushed to investigate the distraction, Captain Lee led the second group toward the supply depot. "Now's our chance! Let's go!" he shouted, and they dove in, weapons ready. The humans swooped down, their ships expertly maneuvering through the defenses. Alarms blared as the aliens realized they were under attack. The humans unleashed their new weapon, firing energy blasts that struck the depot's walls with brilliant flashes. Inside the depot, chaos erupted. Workers scrambled to respond, but they were unprepared for such a sudden assault. The humans moved quickly, targeting key systems and destroying supplies. They had never felt such power before, and it fueled their resolve. But as they pressed on, the Empire's reinforcements arrived. A fleet of alien ships surged forward, ready to defend their territory. "We are not alone," Captain Lee shouted into the comms. "Stay focused and stick to the plan." The battle intensified, with energy blasts lighting up the darkness of space. The humans fought bravely, using their training and teamwork to outmaneuver the alien ships. They had the advantage of surprise, and they intended to use it fully. Just as victory seemed close, an alien commander ordered a counterattack. Powerful ships began to close in on Captain Lee's team. "We need to get out of here," Dr. Mira urged, her heart racing. But the humans pushed forward, knowing they had come too far to turn back. They fought fiercely, determined to take out the supply depot before retreating. With one final surge, they unleashed a concentrated blast at the depot's core. The explosion rocked the moon, sending shockwaves through space. The humans cheered as the supply depot erupted in flames, the victory lighting up their hearts. But their joy was short-lived, as the alien ships retaliated with full force. "Fall back! We need to regroup," Captain Lee shouted, realizing the danger. They quickly activated their engines and turned toward Earth, their hearts pounding with both triumph and fear. As they flew back, the realization hit them. They had struck the first blow, and it felt exhilarating. But the Empire would not take this lightly. The battle was far from over, and the humans knew they had awakened a powerful enemy. In the distance, Earth glowed like a beacon of hope. They had shown the galaxy that they were ready to fight. But now they would have to prepare for the Empire's inevitable response. The awakening of humanity had begun, and they were determined to stand strong against the darkness that threatened their world. After the successful attack on the Galactic Empire's supply depot, a sense of hope spread throughout Earth. The news traveled fast, igniting a fire of determination in every corner of the globe. People cheered for the brave pilots who had struck a blow against their oppressors. But the victory was just the beginning. They knew the Empire would retaliate, and the humans had to be ready. In the days that followed, Captain Lee and Dr. Mira worked tirelessly at the command center. They were developing new strategies and improving their weapons. Everyone knew that the Empire would not sit idly by. They would come back stronger and angrier. "Every moment counts," Dr. Mira said as she studied data from the recent battle. "We have to analyze their tactics and prepare for their next move. We can't afford to be caught off guard again." Captain Lee nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. "Let's focus on gathering intelligence. We need to know where their forces are and what they're planning." Across the world, cities transformed into bustling centers of activity. Citizens trained in self-defense and combat skills. Factories operated around the clock, producing weapons and ships. Schools opened their doors to teach people about strategy and teamwork. It felt like a united front, and that unity strengthened their resolve. In the command center, a young technician named Jenna discovered something alarming. "Captain, I've intercepted a communication from the Empire," she shouted, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "They're planning a massive strike on Earth. They aim to crush us in one swift attack!" The room fell silent. Captain Lee's heart raced as he processed the information. "When are they planning to strike?" he asked urgently. "Within the next 48 hours, Jenna replied, her voice steady. "They believe we're weakened after our recent victory. They're underestimating us again." Captain Lee felt a mix of fear and determination. "We need to warn everyone. This is our chance to prepare and show them that we won't back down." Dr. Mira added, "We can use our technology to bolster defenses around major cities. We must strengthen our positions and be ready to defend ourselves." The urgency in the air intensified as they quickly formed a plan. They activated emergency broadcasts to alert the public, urging everyone to prepare for the impending attack. Communities banded together, working day and night to fortify their defenses. As the deadline approached, tensions ran high. Citizens set up makeshift barricades and trained in basic combat. Families came together to discuss evacuation plans just in case. Every person, young and old, felt the gravity of the situation. Then the moment came. Alarms blared as the Empire's ships appeared in the sky, darkening the horizon. A fleet of enormous vessels blotted out the sun, casting shadows over the cities below. The humans gazed up, fear mixed with defiance. "Prepare for battle!" Captain Lee shouted into the comms, his voice steady. "Everyone take your positions. We will show them we are ready." The ground shook as the Empire's ships opened fire. Bright beams of energy lit up the sky, slamming into the ground. But the humans were ready. They had built barriers and defenses, and they fought back with everything they had. In the chaos, Dr. Mira worked frantically at the command center, coordinating their defense. "Focus fire on their lead ships," she commanded, her heart racing. "We need to disrupt their formation." The pilots flew their ships bravely, dodging enemy fire and returning blasts with their newfound weaponry. They fought with the passion of those who had everything to protect. The air was filled with the sounds of explosions and cries of determination. But as the battle raged on, it became clear that the Empire was not going down easily. Their ships were powerful, and the fight was fierce. Captain Lee's heart pounded as he witnessed his team giving everything they had. "Hold the line! We cannot let them breach our defenses," he urged, his voice echoing through the chaos. With every blast, the tide of battle shifted. Humans fought back harder than anyone expected. They had learned from their previous encounters, using their unity and creativity to adapt and survive. As the hours passed, their defenses began to hold. In a pivotal moment, a young pilot named Alex, remembering his training, executed a daring maneuver. He flanked an enemy ship and delivered a critical strike. The explosion sent shockwaves through the Empire's ranks, inspiring his fellow pilots. "We can do this!" Alex shouted over the comms, rallying his team. "We will not be defeated." Slowly but surely, the Empire's forces began to falter. The humans fought with everything they had, and their determination fueled the fight. They had proven that they were not just victims, they were warriors. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the battlefield, Captain Lee felt a sense of hope. The tide was turning, and the humans were ready to show the galaxy what they could do. They were fighting for their home, and nothing could extinguish that spirit. The Empire had underestimated them once, but they would not make that mistake again. As dawn broke over Earth, the sky was painted with shades of orange and pink, but the beauty was lost on the humans preparing for the final battle. The Galactic Empire had regrouped after their initial defeat, and their massive fleet hovered ominously in orbit. Captain Lee and Dr. Mira knew that this would be the decisive moment in their struggle for freedom. In the command center, the atmosphere was tense. Everyone was on high alert, and the room buzzed with activity as technicians monitored the Empire's movements. Captain Lee stood at the head of the table, his voice steady. "This is it. Today, we fight not just for our planet, but for every future generation. We have the skills, the technology, and the will to win." Dr. Mira added, "We've spent weeks preparing for this. We have new weapons and strategies to use against them. We must stay focused and work together." With a firm nod, Captain Lee continued, "Let's remind them why provoking humans is a dangerous mistake. Prepare for launch!" The pilots took their positions in the hangar, their hearts pounding with anticipation. They knew the stakes were high and fear flickered in their minds, but determination overpowered it. Each pilot glanced at their comrades, knowing they were not alone in this fight. "Let's show them what humanity is made of," shouted Alex, the young pilot who had made a critical strike in the last battle. His energy was contagious, lifting spirits and pushing the team to stay focused. As the ships took off, the ground crew watched with bated breath. The human fleet soared into the sky, gliding toward the Empire's armada. Captain Lee led the charge, his ship a beacon of hope for the others. In space, the Empire's ships formed a dark wall, an intimidating sight. But the humans were undeterred. They had trained for this moment, and they were ready to unleash their full potential. "Form up!" Captain Lee commanded, his voice clear in the chaos. "We need to stay tight and use our new weapons. Aim for their command ships first." The battle began, and the first blast rang out. Energy beams flew through space, colliding with the Empire's ships. The humans fought with everything they had, their hearts pounding as they dodged enemy fire and struck back with precision. Dr. Mira coordinated the attack from the command center. "Alex, take your squad and flank their right. We need to disrupt their formations," she shouted, her fingers dancing over the control panel. Alex nodded, rallying his team. "You heard her! Let's move!" They executed the maneuver flawlessly, catching the Empire off guard. Their strategy was working, and for the first time the humans felt they were gaining the upper hand. As the battle raged on, the Empire unleashed their secret weapon, an enormous battleship that dwarfed the others. It was heavily armed, and the sight sent chills down the spines of the human pilots. Captain Lee's heart raced, but he knew they couldn't back down now. "Focus fire on that battleship!" he yelled, determination in his voice. "We have to take it down before it can attack our cities." The pilots rallied together, their fear replaced with courage. They unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, aiming for the ship's weak points. The Empire's battleship fired back, and the humans felt the impact as explosions rocked their ships. But they pressed on, driven by their desire for freedom. The tides of battle turned as the humans worked together, their coordination improving with every passing moment. They dodged enemy fire, using their agility to outmaneuver the heavier ships. One by one, the Empire's ships began to fall. But the giant battleship still loomed, firing relentlessly. Just as hope seemed dim, Dr. Mira noticed something on her monitor. "Captain, their shields are down on the left side. That's our chance! Everyone, concentrate your fire there!" Captain Lee ordered, adrenaline pumping through his veins. They aimed and fired, their combined energy blasts hitting the battleship with incredible force. The massive ship shuddered as their shot struck true, and with one final blast, it exploded in a brilliant display of light. The humans cheered as the wreckage scattered across space, a symbol of their resilience. But the battle was not over. With their command ship destroyed, the remaining Empire forces began to retreat. The humans pressed on, determined to finish what they started. They fought with everything they had, their spirits soaring high. As the dust settled, the humans emerged victorious. Cheers filled the command center as the pilots returned home. They had faced overwhelming odds and triumphed, proving that humanity could not be easily defeated. Captain Lee and Dr. Mira exchanged proud glances. They knew this was just the beginning of their journey, but today they had shown the galaxy that provoking humans was a dangerous mistake. They had awakened a force that would fight for their freedom and protect their planet at all costs. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their determination to safeguard their home.